Ancient eyes. How did they view the era in which they lived? What is our impression of the world they saw? How do we understand their understanding of the world? Two kilometers from the center of the city of Aswan, a massive block of granite lies in an ancient quarry. With its pointed top and square base, it was clearly intended as an obelisk. However, probably because of cracks in the stone, it was never finished. Experts have suggested that, if completed, it would have weighed over 1,100 tons, and at 42 meters, would have been the tallest obelisk in Egypt. Towering monuments, soaring columns, colossal statues, and majestic pyramids dominate parts of the Egyptian landscape. Millennia ago, people used their ingenuity and powerful visual elements to create an artistic world parallel to the real one. Ultimately, the structures became so monumental in their scale that it appeared impossible that they could have been conceived and crafted by humans. The precise calculations embodied in a pyramid. Are they the product of an understanding of mathematics, the result of some predefined order, or simply a matter of coincidence? How much of what we see here do we truly understand? Wouldn't it be easier if we just allowed ourselves to be awed by a grandeur and vastness that transcends our own comprehension?
Every day, we are hearing a new theory about aliens, Atlantis people of outer space. They built the pyramids. Cannot be like this. We have in all of Egypt 124 pyramids. So each time I call the space command, build a pyramid for me, aliens command, build a pyramid for me. Cannot be like this. But in 1990, we had a great discovery. American tourist was riding a horse in a desert behind the Sphinx, and the leg of the horse fall down in a hole. So what we did excavation just to remove the sands. We found the workers' tombs, the builders of the pyramid tombs. How we could know? Those tombs for the builders, we found their names, their titles. They weren't slaves, they were workers, and we give them salaries. But there is no money in this early time. I'm talking about 4,600 years. So what kind of salary? We give them beer, bread, and salted fish as a salary. So building a pyramid by Egyptians, and we give them salaries.
古代技术失传了，和现代技术、现代科学是两个类型，但你不能因此就否定古代科学的高度。古代有非常发达的科学，天文学、几何学、化学、数学都有，但是它的表达方式和现在不一样。
The enduring vitality of human civilization derives from the tension arising when reality and imagination come together. It's a process that leads to creation, sometimes of something mysterious. And one mystery, if we unravel it, can often lead to another. The Sanxingdui archaeological site continues to yield discoveries. Each time a new artifact is unearthed, it gives rise to a fresh wave of interest across China. New findings do nothing to deter the speculation about Sanxingdui. Rather, the stranger the artifacts, the more they fuel people's curiosity. Archaeologists once referred to this artifact as bronze figure with feet in bird's claw. It has been on display at the Sanxingdui Museum for 36 years. Unearthed in 1986 from number 2 pit, it's incomplete. For decades, it was thought that it was the leg portion of a larger object. But what the missing upper part was remained a mystery. But that didn't stop people imagining what it might have looked like. It seemed that the mystery would never be solved. That was, until another discovery was made. In 2020, a fresh round of excavations began at Sanxingdui. In number 8 pit, archaeologists found a fragmented piece which they described as a bronze human figure with serpent-like body and zuan on its head. During its restoration, the experts realized it seemed similar in some respects to the bronze figure with feet in bird's claw unearthed in number 2 pit in 1986. A 30-year mystery was about to be solved. Zhao Hao is an archaeologist from Peking University. He has spent several years at Sanxingdui trying to solve some of its mysteries.
2022年6月份把它从坑里提出来之后，很快我们通过拼对发现这件器物竟然和1986年从2号坑内发现的那件残缺的一件穿裙的鸟足像竟然能拼在一起。这样的话，整个器物又加高了一阶，它变成一个倒立，戴着牛角面具、纵目，然后这个穿着对襟衣服，然后双手倒立撑垒，头上顶着一个尊，这么一个非常奇特的一个造型。
This unconventional bronze statue comprises a human face, a snake's body, and a vessel on the head. People were particularly intrigued by the legs. Of exaggerated length, they defied conventional interpretation and provided further evidence of how the creativity of the people of Sanxingdui transcended the limits of more constrained imagination.
我们看久了中原地区的东西，会觉得突然出现一个三星堆这样的东西，会觉得很奇怪或者很有趣。就像你常年我们在这边吃一碗面，突然你尝到了一个不同的一个餐，就觉得可能是很有趣的一个事情。当然，可能对于长期，比如说当时三星堆的人来说，他如果看到了一件中原地区的器物，他也会觉得很奇怪。
The development of archaeological research means that, as more matching fragments have been found in different pits at Sanxingdui, the archaeologists have been able to better understand the artifact. Eventually, based on the statue with long legs, the experts were able to piece together an artifact, which they called the bronze human figure, with bird's feet and zun on its head. This is a statue of a complex deity. It stands 2.53 meters tall and is composed of 5 fragments from different ceremonial pits. It is depicted supporting itself upside down on its hands on a bronze base. The lower body defies gravity, curling upward, while the feet transform into bird-like claws, gripping an inverted eagle's head. On top of the deity's head is a vessel common in Central Plains culture, a gu for alcohol. On the vessel's lid, a dragon lies prostrate, with a human figure standing on its back, wearing a tall crown and holding a staff with a dragon head tip that bends downward. Humans, snakes, birds, and dragons are all common motifs in Chinese culture. What is unusual is for them all to be combined in this way. But why did the Sanxingdui people design such a complex deity? What concepts were they trying to express? The completed statue does nothing to dispel the mystery shrouding the Sanxingdui site. Rather, it further fuels speculation.
古文明的神秘感，有的时候是后来的人建构出来的。生活方式和生活重心的转变，使得过去习以为常的，今天变得稀奇了，变得不可思议了。那这些神秘的面纱呢，伴随着考古学家、人类学家、历史学家的合作，会一点一点的就揭开。我们会越来越走进古代人的精神世界。
In 1922, when Howard Carter discovered Tutankhamun's tomb, he revealed to the world the sleeping teenage pharaoh and his remarkable treasures. In the center of the pharaoh's torso, a black resin scarab beetle nestles between his hands, protecting his heart. Behind the scarab is the image of a Bennu bird, the mythical phoenix in ancient Egyptian legend that was considered the soul of the sun god. Among the funerary items in Tutankhamun's tomb, the image of the scarab is ubiquitous, just as it is throughout ancient Egyptian civilization. This ordinary small beetle was regarded as the sun's messenger. The ancient Egyptians who worshipped the sun were fascinated by the workings of nature and the cycle of life. When they observed a scarab beetle rolling a ball of dung, they imagined that, in a similar way, a god must be rolling the sun across the sky, bestowing life-giving light and heat on the earth. The scarab beetle lays its eggs and reproduces in a mixture of dung and decaying matter, symbolizing the birth of life from nothing. In the ancient Egyptian language, the word for scarab is Khepri, meaning development and emergence. Ultimately, the scarab became the deity Khepri, god of the morning sun and of new beginnings and creation. Around 30 BCE, the ancient Egyptian dynasties came to an end. However, the journey of the tiny scarab beetle was far from over. During the 18th century age of exploration, ancient and mysterious Egypt became a popular destination for European adventurers. In 1798, Napoleon Bonaparte led a military expedition to the country. Napoleon's Egyptian campaign ended in failure. However, the expedition succeeded in introducing Egyptian culture and art into France. Europe at the time was in a period of great change. The reshaping of the social order and cultural sphere demanded fresh inspiration. As tales of mysterious Egypt circulated in the streets and alleys of Paris, a phenomenon known as Egyptomania began sweeping through French society. In 1833, one of the Luxor obelisks arrived in Paris and was placed in the center of the Place de la Concorde. At the same time, jewelry with an Egyptian theme began to appear in the shop windows of Paris. At the 1867 Paris Exposition Universelle, leading jewelers such as Boucheron, Bellerio, and Beaugrand introduced their own jewelry inspired by ancient Egypt. Before long, a craze for Egyptian-themed jewelry was sweeping across the European continent. The scarab beetle had made its way from the presence of pharaohs to another continent, where it became a much sought-after fashion accessory. Its popularity continued into the 20th century, when this symbol of an ancient civilization continued to influence fashion trends. As civilizations evolve, so the ancient and the new interact. Human society today is the continuation of ancient civilizations and still draws nourishment from the distant past. Nanjing, the capital city of Jiangsu province, lies over 1,600 kilometers to the east of the Sanxingdui archaeological site. Here in a city center courtyard, traditional Kunqu opera is being brought together with Sanxingdui culture. Kunqu opera, as one of its oldest and most representative forms, is often referred to as the mother of Chinese opera. Ke Jun is a Kunqu opera artist who is exploring the intersection of Kunqu opera and contemporary aesthetics.
我们昆曲几百年，有的时候你不认识它，你不知道它的价值的时候，难道它没有价值吗？
By chance, he came across Sanxingdui culture.
我们的戏曲的节目啊，能不能有些创新？但是创新的并不是说是要排一个什么新的剧目，或者是排一个新的独立题材，这叫创新。我说我们能不能把一个几千年前的一个文物，能够让它通过我们戏曲的方式，让它鲜活起来。
One of the artifacts that inspired Ke Jun is a kneeling statue with twisted head found in pit number 4 at Sanxingdui.
人是跪的，是沉着的，沉稳的，是有礼数的，但是头发是向上的，是飞扬的，是像有一飞冲天的感觉。
The sculpture is one of the most recognizable items found at Sanxingdui. It's 30 centimeters tall and depicts a person kneeling on the ground, leaning slightly forward. The head is turned to the right, while the hands are raised together on the left. The hair is styled with a strong upward momentum pointing to the sky. The hands and feet are intricately depicted, with well-defined finger joints and prominent contours. The muscles of the lower legs are tense and the lines are graceful, capturing the state of someone pushing forcefully off the ground.
不会讲话的人难道就没有心里的话要讲了吗？他们动作和造型，他一定会告诉大家我是谁，我是什么人，我在想什么。尽管是埋在地底下几千年，但是他一直等待认识他的人，也等待他能够被大家认识，从而知道他们那一个年代他们的辉煌、他们的智慧、他们的创造力，会给今天的人带更多的启发和思考。越是在这新的时代，越是有新的审美的时候，我们越是要回望传统。
Ancient civilizations are a source of nourishment for the traditional arts of future generations. On the other hand, later generations can activate and awaken past civilizations through the use of technology. With new forms of interpretation and fresh imagination, the greatness of the past can be woven into the brilliance of the present.
物有本末，事有终始，知所先后，则近道矣。所以我们一直去了解这个最开始的是什么样子，整个事情的最源头是什么样子，其实都是在追求看到一个最全的真相。这个真相如果能够呈现在我们面前了，不是遮遮掩掩，不是一个谜团的话，我们其实就更好的了解我们自己，知道自己是谁，从哪里来，就知道自己可以往哪里去和要往哪里去。
主观、树枝，还有呢？石头。可是这些东西我们都是在哪里找到的呀？哎，我们看一看，是不是都是从这棵大大的树上找下来的？哎，找了这些我们要来做什么呢？三星堆。哦，三星堆的面具。
Today you are going to, the outcome is to make a piece of work and respond to these images that we've got in front of us, the ancient images from ancient people from around the world. So let's all have a look at this one here.
Something related to God, so their big ears and big eyes represents that the God knows everything and they can hear everything.
So if I was going to leave a piece of my own work to be viewed in 1,000 years, I think I would want it to reflect who we are and what we feel and what we think about, how we struggle and how we communicate, how we are curious about them and hope that they're curious about us.
From the first handprint left by ancient humans on cave walls, civilizations have accumulated memories. Through our efforts to follow the traces of memories, we are trying to return to the shining moments that occurred tens of thousands of years ago. And what will we, the people of today, leave behind for the people of the future? Located on the outskirts of Cairo, at the confluence of the Nile alluvial plain and the Giza Plateau, on the extended axis of the three major pyramids of Giza, stands the Grand Egyptian Museum, known as the Fourth Pyramid, The museum has been under construction for 20 years. In November 2022, one of the most highly anticipated new museums in the world launched its trial opening. Ultimately, the Grand Egyptian Museum will house a vast collection of over 100,000 priceless artifacts. Beside the river Yazi in Guanghan, Sichuan province, stands a brand new complex. This is the new building of the Sanxingdui Museum, which opened on July 27, 2023. A feature of the new museum is 3 mounds arranged along the central axis. They symbolize Sanxingdui's origin as the 3 stars in a row. Internally, the new building incorporates the world's most advanced digital constant temperature and humidity system. In the different storage areas for various artifacts, the temperature, humidity, oxygen content, and cleanliness are monitored and controlled automatically. Museums are like time capsules. People visit them to see the past preserved and seek the meaning of the present. The artifacts and memories kept here will also serve as a medium for future generations to understand us. Imagination, this unique human gift, is now being transplanted onto a digital canvas and projecting entirely new landscapes. The illuminated moments of past civilizations, the silent faces, reappear in a fresh dimension, perhaps to endure indefinitely. Is digital existence another way for civilizations to continue or be reborn? And where will this exchange of civilizations ultimately lead us?
I want you to know that the belief of the afterlife for the ancient Egyptian built Egypt. Because of that belief, tombs, pyramids, temples, because they will live forever.
文明的生命力就在于，后来的人们用什么样的态度对待它、传承它。文明已经历经了多少代，还会一直发展下去，它的活力是永远存在的，是这个生生不息的。
历史真相是一个真理呀，是我们永恒的追求。但是不是就哪一天就真的追求到呢？
关于316遗址，还有很多问题没有得到解答，谜题啊有很多，也要等待我们后续逐一去解答。
I always believe civilization is just one tree, and we have different branches. So, China civilization, it's one of the branches. Egyptian civilization, it's another branches, but it's the same source. They came from the same source, from the same tree. So why not?